Sekunjalo Investment Holdings, also known as the Sekunjalo Group, has now consulted legal counsel and has now perused the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, or otherwise known as the FSCA's application that resulted in the raid on our offices and that of African Equity Empowerment Investments, AEI, yesterday, Wednesday, the 9th of October, 2019. We are of the considered opinion that the FSCA's application is entirely without merit and that Judge Gamble was misled by the FSCA. His decision to grant this application was based, as it was, on a gross misrepresentation of the facts and the vital omission of material information in the papers. We have accordingly instructed our legal counsel to proceed to the High Court to set aside the FSCA application. We have instructed our legal counsel to proceed with haste separately with an extensive damages claim against the FSCA, its acting commissioner, as well as the investigators in their individual capacities and collectively that participated in the irregular raid on our offices. This claim will be made jointly and severally against the FSCA, its commissioner, and the investigators. Will also include an action to recover damages from the FSCA and individuals directly linked to the organization that have, as a result of the action brought by the FSCA, brought disrepute on the FSCA. It should be noted that the FSCA has not raided any other company operating in South Africa in the way they invaded our offices and our privacy. There are many accounts in the public domain of companies that their own boards have indicated are corrupt, such as Steinhoff, Tongaat Hewlett, EOH. Yet the FSCA does not raid these companies and instead raids our offices on the pretext of share price manipulation. Their behavior is inconsistent with that of a regulator and in breach of their fiduciary responsibilities and functions to the South African public. Their actions have brought the office of the FSCA regulator into serious disrepute. This is a blatant abuse of power with the specific purpose to achieve private, personal, and mostly political agendas. Their draconian actions are a violation of the constitutional rights of the citizens of our country, and in particular, black business. We further point out that the application, which is largely focused on share trades, has 90% of the items requested in the application already in the public domain and could so easily have been accessed or obtained via a simple request for information or a standard subpoena. There was absolutely no need for the issuing of a search and seizure order. It is an unprecedented and draconian measure which also incurred significant cost to the regulator and our state, with at least 15 investigators being flown in from elsewhere in the country to participate in the ensuing intimidation. These heavy armed tactics are completely unwarranted in a democracy. We stand by our statement of the 9th of October that there are rogue elements who have insidiously infiltrated all levels in society and who consider themselves above the law. Indeed, we are of the opinion that the purpose for bringing the search and seizure was not so much to obtain information about IO, but rather to access privileged information and media sources that potentially incriminate very high-profile individuals in corruption and who are colluding to undermine the constitutionality of our country. These persons cannot afford to have any evidence reach the public space and will try anything to prevent it. They certainly have much to lose. To be clear, Sekunjalo stands firmly behind the President of our country, President Ramaphosa, and the Minister of Finance of our country, Minister Tito Mboweni, in their efforts to define policy and implement plans necessary to claw South Africa back from the brink of economic disaster. The country sits on the edge of the fiscal cliff and cannot be permitted to plunge over it. An economic precipice threatens everyone's democratic freedom, and we simply cannot allow those who seek to disrupt this to achieve their agendas. There are too many who speak with forked tongues and wear two faces. They know who they are, and the South African public deserves to know them too. Our action and this statement are not designed to curry favor with the highest powers of this land, but rather to alert those in office who remain true to the Constitution that they have a duty to the people of South Africa to root out rogue and corrupt individuals. Our Constitution values cannot be eroded. They were won through much sacrifice. We consider the action to be an abuse of press freedom and media freedom in South Africa, and the fundamental right for sources to remain anonymous and protected. We will protect these rights, as well as the rights that every South African has to a free and democratic and economically secure future. We will therefore continue, through all the means at our disposal, to root out the deep and systemic corruption in this country and publicly expose those rogue people that are responsible. Sekunjalo is confident that it will be successful in its lawsuit against the FSCA. The company, the group, reserves all of its rights, and we look forward to safeguarding the constitutionality of our country. Thank you.